Day 21, heading northeast today. There's a little town called Pella that apparently has some interesting architecture and buildings. I am headed on Route 2 going east. This is they call the Pleasant Overview Loop, an Iowa byway. Huge storms came through last night for a couple hours, so it was, I think, a good decision on my part to stay in a motel and just duck and cover for that. It's breezy again today, they say, with potentially damaging winds, so unfortunately the wind saga continues. We have a fair bit to go today, 236 miles to get to Pella, so hopefully the winds don't get too bad. I was going to stay there last night up in Argyle State Park, but I'm glad I didn't, because it came down in buckets and I thought I heard hail. There's reports of hail and tornado threats last night, so the last place I wanted to be in a tent, two-person tent, in the middle of a tornado warning. Riverton, Iowa, established 1870. How many towns are there like this across America? Countless, I tell you. I have been through so many towns like this. They all have the same. They slow you down as you come into town, rightfully so. They do it in like 2 or 3 steps, so they slowly decrease the speed limit. They don't want people ripping through their town. And they do the reverse on the opposite side of it. And I'm always left with the question, why did people settle in Riverton, Iowa, or whatever town I'm passing through? Was it trade? Was it military? Was it, who knows? Pretty little downtown area. This isn't Americana, what is? Right side of my neck hurts. Constantly pushing my head to the right. Keep it upright against the wind. This throttle lock on my throttle on the right side handlebar is a huge help in a trip like this where I go hour after hour. It's not cruise control, because when you go up a hill like this, you'll slow down, and then when you go down a hill, you'll speed up, so you have to adjust it a little bit. But I'm able to get my right hand off the handlebar and let it relax in the center bag occasionally, so I'm not constantly gripping the throttle. And on a level surface, it does very well. I can go for minutes at a time without touching the throttle. The last time I went off pavement, things did not end well. Apparently that road was closed. This road is gravel and it's dry, at least so far. I'm not quite sure what just happened. I'm gonna have to get off my bike and take a look at the map. It took me, there was a road detour, so this thing put me on that gravel road again, which I made my way back to Highway 78. But the town that I was headed for, Pella, is now showing very far west of here. I have no idea why it would say that, because I was closing in within, I thought, 20-25 miles of that destination. Maybe I'm just going to miss Pella. It's too far. I'm not going to go drive an hour and a half west. So it's all very confusing. So I started here this morning and have made my way across. I was supposed to go to Pella, and then from Pella think about going to Lake Darling. Well, when I got off the road, it started redirecting me and then telling me Pella is back here because I'm at Lake Darling right now. So that's too far for me to backtrack. It's 1:16 in the afternoon, so I've got some riding left in me, which tells me that I could probably work my way into Illinois if I so choose, because I'm only 25 miles from Illinois border. So maybe that's what I'll do, is start working my way into Illinois if I can find a state park there, because there are some Lincoln things that I want to take a look at tomorrow anyway. I guess that's where I'll go. That may be it for me on Iowa. Fort Madison, Iowa. I am at the border with Illinois. Bought an Iowa pork chop, $1.99 a pound. Can't hardly beat that this day and age with inflation. Looks like they're good chops too. I always have difficulty with grocery stores with the prepackaged meats, because as a single rider I can only buy what I'm going to eat within the next hour or two. So buying a package of 4 or 6 hamburgers doesn't do me any good. It'll all end up going to waste. So I always like it where they have a butcher counter where I can just get a single pork chop or a single hamburger. Mississippi River, Scenic Drive. There's the mighty Mississippi. It's been windy. Let's see, Nevada, Nebraska, Colorado, dip down into Kansas, up into Nebraska again, Iowa, now Illinois. Every one of these states I've been just plastered with the wind. I don't know whether it's this time of year or what, but man, it's just brutal. This is on the National Register Historic District. I'm not sure why. Lincoln marker. Alright, we're going to try this one. See what Lincoln marker there is. Is that it? Must be it. On October 23rd, 1858, Abraham Lincoln visited La Harpe, which must be the name of the town, in the course of his famous contest with Stephen Douglas for the United States senatorship. On the evening of that day, he spoke in the Methodist Episcopal Church. The structure in which the meeting was held stood on this site and was the predecessor of the present building. How cool is that? Those debates were very famous, and it helped solidify a lot of Lincoln's thoughts on slavery and other issues. Argyle Lake State Park. The park contains 86 Class A campsites, 25 Class B, 18 Class C, featuring vehicle access and restrooms, and 31 Class D primitive sites. There's the dam and the lake. A few people fishing. The difference between a Site C and a Site D is that a Site C has pit toilets and a Site D doesn't have any toilets. It's a $2 difference. So I splurged and got the C site with the pit toilet. Told the camp host that I do carry a shovel with me, but I'll save myself the aggravation having to dig a latrine for $2. Actually a little surprised at a state park that's, I'm sure, well attended during the summer, that they would have sites that don't even have pit toilets, because that can get out of control in a hurry from a sanitary perspective if people don't know what they're doing. Instead of $6, it's $8 a night. So here is the sea sites. Make sure I'm out from underneath any trees and with the wind today. So I also want to try to find one that's relatively dry. It's either over here or over here. Yeah, that ground's kind of mushy. Feels fairly damp. Alright, let's try across the street. Yeah, it feels better. Alright, it would be over here. This is where I'll set up camp. one back in the sea campground.